It is minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind is moving at 60 miles per hour. The ground beneath the trees is frozen solid. Nothing should be alive here. And yet, in the middle of this, a creature the size of a small dog is climbing, slowly, methodically, moving from one tree to the next like it owns the place. It is eating poison for breakfast. It hasn't slept in 2 hours, which means it is running dangerously low on energy. If it doesn't feed in the next 30 minutes, its body will begin shutting down. And somewhere, a predator 300 times more powerful than it is scanning the canopy for movement. The koala doesn't know any of this. It doesn't need to, because over millions of years, evolution built something into this animal that is far stranger, far more extreme, and far more impressive than anything you've ever been told about it. And the wildest part, it starts before the animal is even born. In fact, it starts with something so bizarre that most scientists still struggle to fully explain it. But before we get there, we need to talk about the poison. Eucalyptus trees cover Australia like a fingerprint. Hundreds of species, millions of hectares, pale bark, silver green leaves shimmering in every direction. They are, by almost any biological measure, terrible food, not just low in nutrition, actively toxic. The leaves are loaded with phenolic compounds and terpenes, chemicals the tree evolved to produce specifically to stop animals from eating them. In high enough concentrations, these compounds disrupt liver function, interfere with digestion, and kill. Almost no mammal on Earth eats them as a primary food source. The koala eats almost nothing else every single day for its entire life. So here's the first question this animal forces you to ask: how is it not dead? The answer starts in the liver. Koalas evolved an unusually large, heavily specialized liver that detoxifies eucalyptus compounds at a rate no other mammal can match. The organ works constantly, running overtime to filter what would accumulate and poison anything else. But the liver alone isn't enough, and this is where it gets genuinely strange. Koalas have a cecum, a section of the large intestine, that in their case is the longest of any mammal relative to body size, 2 meters long. Inside it lives a community of bacteria that has co-evolved with koalas over millions of years, microbes fine-tuned to break down what the liver couldn't. Without those bacteria, the koala cannot digest eucalyptus at all. It would starve inside a forest full of food, which raises an obvious question. How does a koala get those bacteria in the first place? The answer is one of the most unsettling things in nature, and it involves the joeys. We'll get there. But first, you need to understand what this diet is actually doing to the animal day by day, because the toxins aren't the only problem with eating eucalyptus. The leaves are so poor in calories that the koala faces a second, equally dangerous problem. It is always structurally on the edge of running out of fuel. At 22 hours, that is how long the average koala sleeps or rests every single day. For most of human history, we assumed this simply meant the animal was slow, lazy, unbothered. We were wrong. Here is what eucalyptus leaves actually provide in calories, roughly half of what an animal the koala's size would need to survive normal activity levels. Half. The koala cannot make up the difference by eating more. The toxin load would overwhelm even its specialized liver, so it solved the problem from the other direction entirely. It needs less. Its basal metabolic rate, the baseline energy the body burns just to keep cells alive, organs running, temperature stable, is approximately 50% lower than what science would predict for an animal its size. 50%. Its heart beats slowly. Its digestion moves slowly. Even the liver, filtering poisons all day, does so at a controlled, deliberate pace. This is not lethargy, it is precision engineering. Every hour spent still in a tree is an hour not spent burning energy the body cannot replace. When the koala does move, it moves with purpose. A single trip from one tree to another uses a significant portion of its daily energy budget, so it has memorized its home range. Every tree, its nutritional value, the exact time each one replenishes after a visit. and it follows that circuit like a living timetable. The stillness is not the absence of strategy, it is the strategy. But staying still in a tree has a second benefit, one that becomes obvious the moment you ask who else is watching. The koala looks unthreatened, it is not. From above, wedge-tailed eagles, Australia's largest bird of prey with wingspans reaching over 2 meters, circle the canopy. They hunt by scanning for movement. A koala descending a trunk or crossing open ground is exactly the kind of slow, large, visible target they were built for. From below, dingoes and goannas, large monitor lizards capable of reaching 2 meters in length, patrol the forest floor. Both can pull a koala from a low branch. Both can ambush one crossing between trees, and the koala moves at roughly 2 kilometers per hour on land. That gap between trees is the most dangerous 30 seconds of its day. The koala's response to all of this is not speed. It is not aggression. It is invisibility. A koala sleeping high in a eucalyptus, still and gray against gray bark, is genuinely difficult to spot. Its coloring is not accidental. It matches the pale, peeling trunks of its preferred trees almost exactly. Its stillness removes the movement cues predators rely on. It rarely calls out unnecessarily. It does not draw attention. And there is something else, something most people never hear about the koala, a secret hidden beneath that gentle exterior that will completely change how you see this animal. Male koalas fight violently, regularly, with consequences, and the territory they fight over is the only thing standing between them and starvation. But before we get to the battles, we need to talk about the invisible threat, the one no claw and no speed can stop. There is a predator the koala cannot see, cannot flee from, and cannot fight: chlamydia. Not the human variant, a related bacterial species, Chlamydia pecorum, that has spread through koala populations across Australia with devastating efficiency. In some regions, infection rates exceed 80% of the wild population. In some colonies, they approach 100. What does it do? It causes conjunctivitis that progresses, untreated, to complete blindness. It causes kidney failure. It renders females permanently infertile. An animal that cannot see cannot find food. An animal that cannot reproduce cannot sustain a population. A colony where every female is infertile is a colony that ends, not this year, but within a generation. How did it reach this scale? Partly through habitat loss, which fragments populations into smaller areas and forces more contact. Partly because the immune systems of animals under chronic stress cannot fight back as effectively, and partly because koalas simply haven't had enough evolutionary time to develop strong resistance to this particular pathogen. The bacteria doesn't fight, it doesn't chase, it doesn't need to. It just waits and spreads through a population that has no natural mechanism to stop it. Wildlife carers across Australia treat hundreds of koalas every year. The treatment works, individual by individual. Released back into the wild, a treated koala has a fighting chance. At the population level, though, the disease remains endemic, a permanent weight pressing down on every colony, every breeding season, every year. The koala survives it imperfectly, unevenly, with help it cannot ask for, but it survives. Which brings us back to what started this: the violence, the territory, the fight hidden beneath one of the most misleading faces in nature. Here is what the postcard never shows you. During breeding season, a male koala opens his mouth and produces a sound that stops you completely. Deep, resonant, a guttural bellow that sounds like it is coming from an animal 10 times his size. It carries hundreds of meters through the forest. It is a territorial claim and a signal to females simultaneously. And then he climbs down from his tree and goes looking for a fight. Males bite at the face and neck. They rake with claws sharp enough to strip bark. They grapple at heights where a fall means injury. The wounds are real: scarred ears, torn fur, puncture marks that obsess without treatment. This is not display behavior. This is combat with stakes. A dominant male holds a home range overlapping the territories of several females. He defends it against every younger male who enters. Those younger males, the losers of these battles, are pushed to the edges of available habitat, lower quality trees, terrain closer to roads, more exposure, more risk, less food. The social hierarchy of the koala, invisible from a distance, is a relentless negotiation of space enforced through sound and pain. The animal that looks like it wants nothing, wants exactly what every territorial creature wants: enough space to survive, enough resources to reproduce, and the right to hold both. Older males dominate, younger males wait. Some eventually inherit territory when older males die. Many don't make it that long. And of all the things that can kill a young male koala, the eagles, the disease, the rivals, nothing is stranger or more hopeful than what had to happen first just to get him here: the birth, which is where this story actually begins. Remember the bacteria, the ones inside the cecum that make digesting eucalyptus possible, the ones that have to be passed from mother to joey, or the joey starves. We said we'd get to how that happens. This is where the koala is a marsupial. Its pregnancy lasts 35 days. What emerges at the end of those 35 days is not, by any biological definition, a finished animal. The newborn koala joey is pink and hairless and blind. It weighs half a gram, the weight of a small paperclip. Its eyes are not functional. Its lungs are not complete. Its hind limbs are barely formed. Its immune system does not yet exist, but its forelimbs are developed disproportionately, urgently, completely developed. In the minutes after birth, guided only by scent and something that can only be called instinct at this scale, the joey climbs, entirely unassisted. It crawls from the birth canal upward through its mother's fur, navigating several centimeters to reach the opening of the pouch. If it falls, it dies. There is no second attempt. It either makes the journey or it doesn't. Inside the pouch, it finds a teat and latches on. The teat swells inside its mouth, locking it in place, and there it stays for 6 months, sealed in the dark, developing the organs, the fur, the eyesight, the lung capacity, the immune system it was born without. After 6 months, it begins to peek out. After 7, it ventures out briefly, retreating when threatened. And then this is when the bacteria transfer happens. Before the joey begins eating solid food, before it can handle even a single eucalyptus leaf, the mother produces pap, a specialized excretion distinct from normal waste, rich in the intestinal bacteria the joey needs to colonize its own gut. The joey eats it deliberately, repeatedly, over several days. This is how the microbial inheritance passes from one generation to the next. This is how a koala born into a forest full of poison learns, at the cellular level, how to survive it. Not through instinct, not through learning, through a biological transfer so precise and so specific that disrupting it ends the line. The animal that makes that first climb, weighing half a gram, blind and unfinished in almost every way, it is already doing the only thing that matters. It is fighting, and it does it alone. The koala sits in its tree, still, gray, eyes half closed. It is running a liver at constant overdrive to process toxins that would kill most mammals. It is managing an energy budget so tight that a single unnecessary trip could push it into deficit. It carries bacteria it inherited through one of the strangest biological transfers in nature. It survived a climb it made weighing less than a coin before its eyes could open, before its lungs could breathe unassisted. It looks peaceful. It is not peaceful. It is precise. Every stillness is a calculation. Every tree it chooses is a nutritional decision. Every morning it wakes up without the disease having progressed is a small victory it will never know it won. Every breeding season survived is a testament to a body built over millions of years, through failures beyond counting, through dead ends and extinctions and pressures we can barely imagine, to do exactly this. The koala doesn't look like a survival story. That's the point. The most extreme adaptations in nature often wear the quietest faces. Evolution doesn't always produce speed, doesn't always produce venom or size or flight. Sometimes it produces an animal that found a food source no one else wanted, built an entire biology around tolerating it, and held on long past every reasonable expectation. The koala held on. It is, in its unhurried and half awake way, one of the toughest things alive. And if you think that's extreme, wait until you hear about the animal that survives in a place where even bacteria struggle to live, where the temperature drops so low that survival requires shutting the body almost completely off, where the only strategy is to become, for a few hours, something very close to dead. That story is next.